When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. When life gives you a pen, you write. When life takes away both your parents in an unfair way that makes you yearn and crave vengeance for the rest of your life, you become Batman to fight for justice and truth for all Gotham. But when life gives you a microphone, you make a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dark Avenger podcast.
I got something to say, so listen good. Ain't nobody gonna jump on me, 'cause there's a price that we pay, and I think we should. Why can't people just let me be?
Alright, so this is episode 3 of the Dark Avenger podcast, YouTube files. Hopefully everybody's doing great since the last time we podcast together. It's been about 2 weeks, so once again I hope all of you are doing good. Things have been great, and hey, we're getting better at this now. See, it's only been about 2 weeks since the last time we talked, and the good news is enough news has accumulated that we're going to have a really great show today. And that actually is perfect. That leads right into the first thing I wanted to talk about. But first, I just want to let you guys know, as I'm recording this, the wind in Brooklyn right now has decided to audio bomb my podcasting. So if you notice a little bit of like heavy wind hitting my windows or a little rattling of the windows, yeah, it's very, very windy tonight. We just had a really nice day in Brooklyn yesterday. Yesterday for me was Wednesday. For you guys, it will actually still be Wednesday. Yeah, so I'm recording this at a pretty opportune time. So yeah, so yesterday it was a pretty nice day in Brooklyn. Today it's supposed to get really cold, and now they're predicting snow again. The weather just completely, Mother Nature is mad, and you guys better stop pissing her off, because I like the warm weather and I'd like that to come back soon. As a matter of fact, I'm very happy because next weekend, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, it is spring forward. Now, all of you that go to work in the morning or go to school, you're going to be like, Chris, I hate you for making that statement right now. But listen, hear me out. Think of it this way. We get more hours of sunlight, and the sun doesn't go down so flippin' early. Hey, it'll be 4, 5, 6 o'clock before the sun even thinks about setting. I don't know why, but I really do wish we could just get rid of the whole spring forward and fall back. This way we don't have to worry about losing an hour, gaining an hour, whatever. It's the same time all the time. Honestly, I don't know many people that's, I don't know why we still do it to this day. The reason we even started it was so long ago, and that reason is long past gone. But that's just me, and that is the rambling part of the show. So now let's get into the news. But before we get into the news really quickly, I have to take one more minor moment to throw out a disclaimer that since that intro and rambling part of this podcast, it has been several days since I've been able to sit back down and record. What happened was, as soon as I finished the rambling and said, and now into the news, I had to pause because something came up and I was dealing with that. And then what happened was, again, this attests back to things being crazy and busy around the house right now with all that's going on. I had not since Thursday actually, because it was already in the early AMs of Thursday. This podcast I have not been able to sit back down and do until right now. And as I'm recording this part all the way through to the end, it is now Saturday. This is going up on Sunday. It's kind of funny, though, because I'm actually recording this around the same time I was recording it on Thursday morning, I should say. See, for me, I'm a day behind. But anyway, things are just really crazy. And this podcast definitely stands proof right now that things are absolutely upside down. And I'm working as hard as I can. And this is what led into the first news piece, which was I'm really trying to buckle down on my recording schedules to try to keep things on a more fluid. While I said nothing is going to be, whenever I can upload it or can record, I will. And there were no set dates or anything. I still want to be able to have something, every once in a while. I don't want things to go a long period of time before I, do anything or continue something. And when it comes to the podcast, I love doing this podcast. So I definitely wanted to get back into this as soon as I could. And hopefully for episode 4, when I have enough to talk about, we'll be able to come back and do it all in one sitting. But yeah, things have just been crazy busy and still upside down with everything going on with the family. Hopefully things will fix up soon. But I am trying to buckle down on myself, not only because of, podcasting and doing videos, but for other reasons, which I'll get into. But I want to really quickly make another mention that What the Card is officially back. This video was supposed to go up the day after that happened. Now it's not as big of a news piece, but I just wanted to throw it out there. What the Card, we were having issues for a couple of days, and our channel kind of went dark for a time until things got settled, which took time because it was a back and forth of us, and then we had to wait for a response, and then people had to look into it. It was a big kerfuffle. If you'd like to know what went on, you can go check out the What the Card Twitter for like all the in-depth details. I really don't want to talk too deeply about it, especially because everything got resolved and we got our channel back. And starting Monday, we're going to be posting videos again. I'm really happy that we kept the channel. I'm really happy we moved forward. And a lot of people stood by us and supported us and offered us as much help as they could. And that was really wonderful of everybody in the card community. I'm really happy that we are also now not only a part of the comic community, but a part of the card opening community. It's a wonderful community to be a part of. Now, moving off of What the Card and going over to my channel. And before I get into anything, by no means is this an update podcast. I have a lot of other things I'm talking about. I'm just really excited about a few plans I have in mind for my channel. But starting Monday, which is tomorrow for you guys, you're going to start noticing the Dark Avenger comic book review episodes I did over on Comic Frontline slowly being uploaded to my personal channel. And there's a reason behind it. I really wanted to keep the playlist and end it on an even number. So now that we are about up to episode 383 on Comic Frontline, we are really getting super close to episode 400. I believe when we did the math last, we rounded it off to the last week of June, first week of July. It'll be the last week of June's books, but we'll obviously be doing the review the first weekend of July. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to at least have a complete set of reviews up to 400 on my personal channel. I've done from episode 1 all the way through to episode 349, and I don't know, call it OCD, call it what you like, but I would like to at least have it go up to the next 100th episode, and then from there we'll see where things go. As I did mention, there are going to be announcements on the 400 comic book review weekend pertaining to the review and just the regular updates we do every time we hit that 100th mark. So I'm really excited for that as well. There's a lot of exciting things going on. But anyway, before I get too far away from this topic, what I'm going to be doing is I will be uploading 3 days a week on my channel, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So every other day starting Monday, there will be a new old, I like that, a new video of an older episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review over on Frontline being uploaded, starting with 350 on Monday. Every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, will be another episode all the way through. I believe the way we worked it out was by the time the 400 comic book review hits on my channel, it should literally hit 399 the week we do 400, and then the week after that, the week after the 400th comic book review, that video should be going up on my channel, and then, well, the future takes over after that, so whatever happens, we'll go from there. But yeah, things are super, super busy right now, and in a good way, of course. But I sat down and thought about it, and actually starting this month, I have something big going on from now all the way until June, July. And that's awesome, and that's crazy at the same time, but I'm excited. This month, as everybody knows, my first ever comic, Celestial Falcon, issue number 1 will be coming out, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. April, I have something big I'm going to be dropping about my personal channel, and that's going to be huge for April. May, 529 Studios celebrates its 1-year anniversary, and something big is going to happen in May for that. And then June, going into the very beginning of July, is the 400th Dark Avenger comic book review celebration. And that's It's crazy, and that goes all the way into the summer, and then who knows what's going to be taking over after that. I mean, that's just literally the next couple of months, and I'm very excited about all of that. And obviously, April being the secret project that nobody's going to know about until obviously it drops. But May, 529 hitting a full year in existence. That's awesome. And then June, July, the 400th comic book review. It's crazy looking back and really thinking about, where the review started and how it started and how far it's come. It has come 400 weeks. It will be 400 weeks this June. That means that for 400 weeks, about 8 years, I have been doing this review show every single week without missing a single beat. I think I only combined 1 or 2 weeks together, and that was all the way back before even episode 100. But since 100, every week had its own specific episode, but that's because I believe the reason why I combined the other weeks was because I only had like 4 or 5 books for each review, which equaled 8 for one whole episode, which is funny because now I don't think I'll ever go down to 4 or 5 books. I read so much now. And I actually did go back and watch one of my earlier reviews, my earlier reviews, and I was talking about how my reviews were going to cover mainly the big two. And now I look at the piles of books I'm reading. I look at what I'm reading just in general, and it's amazing how, yes, I do read a lot of DC comics still, but it's amazing how much of the independent world I am now reading as well. And Marvel I still have a moderate amount of Marvel. Right now we know what Marvel's doing, and they're doing a bit too much at times, but I still have some love for a lot of the certain comic series, and I still stick with certain comic series. And then there are others I do still read, just to keep up with what's going on in the Marvel U as well. So it's just Marvel's one of the lower of the three. The DC, Independence, and Marvel, I think. And I think I took a picture recently of all the books I had in the past 8 months. DC was huge, but that's only because we got everything from issue 1 to, I believe, issue 7 for DC Rebirth before we started making our cuts. The Independence, we read a lot of Independence. And then Marvel, obviously, all we've been reading and buying is Punisher, Spider-Man, and a few other books here and there. So I think the next 8 months will show that probably DC will definitely have a bit of a cut since there were books we dropped. As far as it being the lowest, though, I think it'll still be in that order: DC, Independence, and Marvel, because I do still, I grew up with DC. That's just where I am, and that's the universe that I'll always, I guess, delve into the most. But anyway, that's the comic review, and that's July, and we could definitely talk more about this closer to the 400 comic book review. What is coming soon is issue number 1 of Celestial Falcon. It has been a while in the making, and it is definitely, for you guys, going to be worth the wait, I promise you. And issue 1 is going to lay the groundwork. It's going to plant the seed. It's going to, put the foundation on what will be growing from that first issue into the future. And when I say the future, I don't mean the immediate future. I mean into the future as in years down the line. This is the book that literally is breaking ground, and starting things off. And from here, from this moment, things are going to be expanding and growing, and you're going to be seeing a lot of different things going on and happening, and hopefully you guys will be as interested and as excited as I am. First story arcs, as you guys know, are origins, so this one is no exception to the rules. It is an origin, but I think you guys are really going to love it. I think you guys are going to dig it. And then when you get this origin and you get the background on the characters, you're going to be even more invested as we move forward into other story arcs and other character developmental moments later on down the line, and other things that will be happening later on down the line. And this book will be like, oh, I remember when they started, they were like this, and oh, wow, how they've grown, or how the main character has grown, or how things have changed since the beginning of the series. And I'm looking forward to hearing a lot of that. I'm looking forward to a lot of people saying they enjoyed the book. I worked really hard when I was a kid on this story, and now myself, Brant, Lisa, and Lucas, who's the artist, we all worked really hard on this book that is going to be coming out this month. And there was a lot of love, a lot of work, and a lot of effort put into this book to make sure that you guys, all of you, guys, gals, and in between, will love it and will want to come back for issue 2, issue 3, arc 2, arc 3, arc 4, whatever comes after arc 4. I mean, I'm not going super far down the line, and I'm not promising anything, as a matter of fact. But whatever comes of it, hopefully you guys will be on board and you guys will really enjoy what we have in store for you, because we definitely have a lot in store. I'm super excited. This is it. This is a moment that I didn't think was going to ever happen in my life. That is officially going to happen, and I know the moment I get that first box of books and I open it up and I see that issue number 1 and I see my name on the book and I see the title and it's like, wow, this was something I did when I was a kid. This was something that I did for fun, something I did to write for people to enjoy. And for those of you that had the ability to, I wrote a whole article about Celestial Falcon when he started, the origin, and all the way through to current day. And if you are not a patron, definitely go, or if you haven't seen the Patreon account, go to the Patreon account. The article is there. And I talked a lot about the development of the character, and not the character as far as the character as far as the comic book. And yeah, it's amazing how a story that I wrote for fun and for family and friends to read now is going to potentially become a worldwide book that millions of people will have the ability to read. And that thought and that feeling is petrifying, but at the same time awesome, amazing, and exciting. And honestly, it's just an indescribable feeling. But you know what you're feeling, but you just can't sit there and explain it, because either you understand and are in the moment, or you just honestly, it's like when I was a dad. It's so hard to sit there and explain what it feels like to be a parent, but when you become a parent, you understand it. It's kind of the same premise. It's hard to explain how it feels to have your first book created until you actually have your first book created and you're holding it in your hand, or you know it's going to be there soon, and you have that anticipation of it coming. There's no way to describe that feeling, but it's awesome. I can say that it is an awesome and fulfilling and just amazing feeling. And I recommend anyone, if you are a writer and you want to pursue writing, not just a comic, a book, a novella, a novel, a graphic novel, if you want to go the larger comic book, route, the larger book version, do it. Find, it sounds a lot easier. Yeah, Chris, easier said than done. Do it. Okay, I'll just go step out tomorrow and find an artist and just amazingly and just make that magic happen. I know it's hard. Listen, nothing in life comes easy. Nothing, we all have to go through something in order to get somewhere, and very rarely do things just literally fall into our laps. We have to work hard and work diligently and tirelessly on something sometimes before we even start to see, I don't want to say profit, but we start to see, feedback on it. Let's say feedback. Feedback is a better word. And same thing as a writer, same thing as a creator. You just work, you get yourself, you do extra work, you talk with people, you meet other creators and talk with them, you help them. It's, you help them, they'll help you, and you just, maybe somebody knows something that you don't, you learn from them. Everything in life is a learning experience as well. You meet people that have done books already, you talk with them about it. Even if you're not doing a book, if you're thinking about it, you're just like, I probably never will do it, but I'm just curious. It's amazing the stories I can tell you from all the friends that I've made since I started my comic review channel, let alone when I started Dark Avenger, when I started the comic reviews, the one thing I never thought of was, hey, one day I'm going to actually make one of these. All it was about was reviewing what was already out there. Never was it, I'm going to review everything that's out there, and then one day I'm going to find somebody and, I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to do it myself. I never once thought of it. But you know what? Through what I did in comic reviews and from the people I've met and have talked about their life stories and how they got into comics, that's what changed. Not me. I don't want to say it changed me, but that's when, the opportunity came, and now here we are. Celestial Falcon, issue number 1, that I wrote when I was a kid, that was obviously updated now to current day, because when I was 15, things were a little bit different, I'd like to think, back then. A little bit. But that's beside the point. But yeah, it's here, and it's something that I never, if you would have told me this 5 years ago, I honestly wouldn't have believed you. I would have been, sure. Somebody told you what my dream job would be, but that is not what's going to happen with me. I never would have believed it. And look, we made it to this. I made it to this point, not knowing, and that's same for everybody else. We are all here for something. We don't know what it is. We have to discover it, and the only way to discover it is to get out there, work hard at everything you enjoy doing. Even if you don't enjoy doing something, you'd be surprised you find what you're meant for in doing something and being somewhere. You're not going to find it sitting at home doing nothing all day. You're going to find it out there in the world. Where and what that is, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could help everybody. That's one thing I also love doing. I love helping people. That's just something, on top of entertaining and making people laugh, the one thing I love doing is making sure I can be there for as many people as I can. And believe me, if I could tell everybody what they're meant for, I would, unless, of course, it's a risk of spoiler alert. So, still, I wish I could. I hope that maybe through my video it helps somebody realize something that they like doing, or set somebody on the course to what they're meant to be. But honestly, that's all I could say, and that's all I truly and honestly can do in that matter. Is just, I hope that somebody out there hears my story and says, you know what, I'm gonna try X, whether it be writing, reading, yeah, go out there and be a professional reader, writing, art, music, teaching, veterinary studies, whatever. Hopefully somebody, that's the one thing I hope, somebody comes away from hearing my story and says, I think I could do what I want to do regardless what it is too. So yeah, let me tell you a story about a boy who had a dream that he would create a superhero that would touch millions of people and hopefully inspire a dozen, if not more, people. And that's exactly where I was when I was 15, and the potential I'm the potential I am facing right now. And that is a feeling that is indescribable, but at the same time, it's amazing. And on top of that, I do about a half a dozen channels on YouTube, starting with comic reviews, doing skits on Brooklyn Boys, playing video games on Frontline Gaming Zone, and now opening cards on What the Card. Yeah, I definitely get around. At some point, I'm going to kill myself. But that day is not today. And speaking of other things that are coming up, by the way, before I go, I just want to let you guys know, it's a podcast. I have recorded half of that podcast too. Hopefully I'll record the second half. Hopefully maybe I'll just sit down and redo the whole thing, do it all in one sitting, and have that out on Comic Frontline soon. However, I do also have Hit Points, which I want to do Hit Points Unlocked Episode 2 before Tuesday, so I'll probably wait on It's a Podcast and do Hit Points Unlocked Episode 2, because what I am unlocking is the story for For Honor. I played it, and now I want to talk about it. And there are a few other little teasers and things that happened since our last episode. It's going to be me solo for episode 2. However, hopefully Brent will be back for episode 3. And then once I get Hit Points Unlocked out, I definitely want to get It's a Podcast out, because I'm looking at the news pieces for It's a Podcast right now, because I have all my agendas on one specific notepad, and a good handful of them are news pieces that are from a bit ago. And some of them definitely are probably going to have to go before I even do It's a Podcast. So I don't know. I might keep them in just because, but still, yeah, I got to get It's a Podcast out this week. And that's what I meant at the beginning of this. Well, the first piece of news anyway. I want to buckle down and start getting some work done, not just with my comic, but with Comic Frontline, with my podcast, with my channel, which you guys will be seeing very soon, and yeah, a bunch of other things. So fingers crossed that everything works out. And yeah, so look forward to a bunch of other stuff coming out from me. Look forward to a lot of stuff on Frontline. Look forward to stuff on my channel. And What the Card is going to be back up starting, well, it is up, but videos will resume again starting Monday, which for you guys is tomorrow. So Monday is a big day. The beginning of the old comic reviews on my channel, the restarting of What the Card, and anything else on Frontline, because on Comic Frontline we have something new every single day on there. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully you're having a great weekend, since this is being recorded on Saturday, and hopefully I will be coming back to you guys soon with the next episode. But till then, stay cool, everybody. Enjoy life. Do what you can. And remember, the best quote I can give you guys is, just do it.